soft drinks, bread, sauces, healthy snacks. But what if I told you sugar isn't just calories, it's a biological signal, and over time, that signal breaks your body's communication system. This is not about diabetes, this is not about weight, this is about insulin resistance, a condition silently damaging your metabolism, hormones, brain, and organs long before symptoms appear. Today, we expose how sugar creates insulin resistance, step by step. What is insulin? The messenger. Insulin is not the enemy. Insulin is a hero hormone. Every time you eat food, especially carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises. Your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin's job is simple. Open the doors of your cells, let glucose enter, turn it into energy. Think of insulin as a key and your cells as locked doors. When insulin works, everything flows smoothly. Energy. What happens when you eat sugar? Now, imagine this. You drink a sugary beverage. Within minutes, blood sugar spikes, insulin floods your bloodstream, cells absorb glucose. Once in a while, no problem. But modern diets don't do once in a while. They do morning sugar, afternoon sugar, evening sugar, late night sugar. Your body never rests. Insulin stays high. All day, the beginning of insulin resistance. Here's where the damage starts. When insulin knocks on your cell door too often, cells stop responding, not because insulin is weak, but because cells are overstimulated. They say enough. So they turn down insulin receptors. The key still exists, but the lock stops working. This is insulin resistance. Sugar to fat storage loop. When cells reject glucose, insulin has only one option left: store it. Glucose gets converted into fat, especially belly fat, liver fat, organ fat. The more fat you store, the more insulin resistance increases. It becomes a vicious cycle. Sugar to insulin to fat to more resistance to more insulin. This loop runs silently for years. Insulin resistance and the brain. Most people don't know this. Insulin also works in the brain. It regulates appetite, memory, focus, mood. When insulin resistance develops, hunger signals break, cravings increase, brain fog appears, motivation drops. This is why people feel, I'm always tired, I'm always hungry, I can't focus. It's not laziness, it's biology. The first organ to suffer. Your liver is ground zero. Excess sugar, liver converts it into fat. Over time, fatty liver develops, insulin resistance worsens, blood sugar control collapses. You don't feel pain, you don't feel symptoms, but damage is happening silently. Why insulin resistance leads to diabetes? Insulin resistance comes first, diabetes comes later. At first, pancreas works harder, then pancreas gets exhausted. Finally, insulin production fails. This is type 2 diabetes. But by the time diabetes is diagnosed, damage is already deep. The hidden sugars making it worse. The most dangerous sugars are invisible. They hide in breakfast cereals, sauces, bread, yogurt, low-fat foods. You think you're eating healthy, but insulin doesn't care about marketing. Sugar is sugar. Can insulin resistance be reversed? Yes, and this is the most important part. Insulin resistance is not permanent. When insulin levels drop, receptors recover, cells gain sensitivity, metabolism heals. The body wants to fix itself. You just have to stop attacking it. Final message. Powerful ending. Sugar doesn't hurt you immediately. That's why it's dangerous. It whispers, not screams. Insulin resistance is not a failure of willpower. It's a predictable response to modern diets. Understand the signal, lower the noise, and your body will remember to heal.
You saw how sugar creates insulin resistance at the cellular level. But what we haven't discussed yet is what happens after insulin resistance sets in. Because insulin resistance doesn't stay in one place, it spreads to your hormones, to your hunger signals, to your fat cells, to your energy systems. Insulin resistance and hormonal chaos. Insulin is not just about blood sugar, it's a master hormone. When insulin stays high for too long, it disrupts cortisol, stress hormone, leptin, satiety hormone, ghrelin, hunger hormone, sex hormones. This is why insulin resistance feels like your body is out of control. You eat, but you're never satisfied. You sleep, but never feel rested. This is not in your head. It's hormonal chaos. Leptin resistance, why you never feel full. Leptin is the hormone that says, "You've eaten enough, stop." But insulin resistance blocks leptin signaling, so even after a full meal, brain doesn't receive full signal, hunger stays on, cravings intensify. This is called leptin resistance. You don't overeat because you're weak, you overeat because your brain never hears enough. Why insulin resistance loves junk food. Insulin-resistant brains crave fast glucose. Why? Because cells can't efficiently use energy anymore. So the brain screams, "Give me sugar, give me carbs, give me now." That's why cravings feel urgent, aggressive, uncontrollable. It's not addiction by choice. It's metabolic desperation. Muscle cells stop listening. Muscles are supposed to absorb most of your glucose, but insulin resistance shuts that door. Result? Glucose stays in blood, insulin rises even higher, fat storage increases. This is why even people who exercise can still develop insulin resistance if diet is high in sugar. Belly fat is not storage, it's a signal. Visceral fat is dangerous fat. It doesn't just sit there. It releases inflammatory chemicals that worsen insulin resistance. More belly fat equals more inflammation. More inflammation equals more resistance. This is why belly fat is a warning sign, not a cosmetic issue. Inflammation, the invisible fire. Insulin resistance creates chronic inflammation, low-grade, silent, constant. This inflammation damages blood vessels, nerves, organs. It accelerates aging. Your body is fighting a war you can't see, insulin resistance and constant fatigue. People think fatigue means lack of sleep, but insulin resistance causes energy lockout. Glucose is present, energy is available, but cells can't access it. So your body feels heavy, slow, drained. You're not tired because you do too much. You're tired because your cells are starving. Insulin resistance and mental health. Insulin resistance affects neurotransmitters, low dopamine, low serotonin. This leads to low motivation, irritability, anxiety, mild depression. Again, not weakness, biochemistry. Why calorie cutting fails. When insulin is high, fat burning is blocked. You can eat less, you can starve, you can suffer, but fat won't leave. This is why eat less, move more fails. The issue is not calories. The issue is insulin, the body's ability to recover. Here's the hope. When insulin drops, inflammation reduces, hunger signals normalize, energy returns, fat burning restarts. Your body remembers balance. Healing is possible. Cliffhanger. But one question remains. If insulin resistance is reversible, why do most people never recover? What keeps insulin high even when sugar is reduced? And what mistakes secretly make insulin resistance worse? Constant eating, insulin never drops. Most people don't eat meals anymore. They snack. Breakfast, snack, munch, snack, dinner, late night snack. Every bite raises insulin, and when insulin never drops, fat burning never turns on. Your body never enters repair mode, never enters recovery. Insulin resistance doesn't heal because insulin is never allowed to rest. Healthy carbs that still spike insulin. People remove sugar but keep the spikes. White rice, bread, cereals, fruit juice, low-fat snacks. Insulin doesn't read labels. It responds to glucose. You can eat clean and still stay insulin resistant if blood sugar keeps spiking. Healthy marketing doesn't mean metabolic safety. Stress and sleep, the invisible insulin spikes. Even without sugar, insulin can stay high. Chronic stress raises cortisol. Cortisol raises blood sugar. Blood sugar raises insulin. Poor sleep does the same. This is why some people eat less but still gain fat. The body thinks it's under attack, so it holds energy. It stores fat. Healing requires calm, not just diet. How insulin sensitivity actually returns. Insulin sensitivity returns when insulin stays low long enough. That happens when meals are spaced, sugar spikes are reduced, muscles are used, stress is lowered, sleep is protected. The body doesn't need extremes, it needs signals to normalize. Lower insulin and the body remembers how to burn fat, control hunger, and create energy. Insulin resistance is not a disease, it's a defense mechanism, a response to constant signals that were never meant to be constant. Fix the signal and the system heals, not overnight, but reliably. This is how metabolic health is rebuilt.